Alright, standards of living, economic development. There's two different types of nations, categories, and they're pretty broad categories. There's developed and developing. So it all has to do with standards of living. What you can buy with what you have. It doesn't matter what, how things necessarily look, or do you have, some really nice cities. Just overall, what can people do with what they have? Or do they even have much? So developed countries are like America, heavily industrialized. England, France, Germany, Taiwan, developed countries, heavily industrialized. China is mostly developed. Developing. So you got your really poor African countries and some of those Central and Southern American countries. Mexico is one of those ones that's technically developing, but it's right there on the border because it's got cities like Mexico City where if you walk down the street, it's not all that different than America as far as it's being a developed city, an industrialized city. But then so much of the country is still in that low standard of living scenario that overall the country is considered developing. But it is definitely kind of a leader of developing countries. Foreign aid. So especially Mexico is definitely a recipient of some foreign aid, especially from America through NAFTA. But more of the poorer countries, they get a lot more foreign aid. Funds, goods, services, any kind of help at all. Not just financially, that's what funds are, but also goods and services to help out these countries from governments and private organizations. Because developing nations lack the resources to improve their standard of living. So they end up depending on developed nations for financial aid to hopefully one day approach being a developed country themselves. Now the developed nations, they benefit from this. Three ways. One is wealthier neighbors means new trade partners. That's why we have an agreement, NAFTA, with Canada and Mexico. Canada is a developed country. We're a developed country. Mexico isn't quite a developed country, but we want them to be. As Americans, the more stable and powerful they are, the safer we are, because terrorists can't get through them. They can't weed through the corruption. Plus, businesses make money. Just like if Americans make money, they spend money, and the economy improves. Well, guess what? If Mexico starts improving economically and they start having better jobs, if they've got more stable businesses and they have money, well, yeah, they're going to spend most of it in Mexico, but they're going to spend a lot of it on America because we're right next door. So we benefit from from trying to help a country like Mexico build itself up to be on the same level as Canada and America. Political support. Definitely Mexico, because of the aid that they've given us and the things that they've done, we've done for them and they've done for us. That's an ally. Whenever we need someone to back us up at a United Nations vote or something like that. We can use it to try to create peace between two countries. If we aid one country that's kind of an enemy of another country, like Israel and Palestine, we can use our aid, our resources to try to cool them off. So like, okay, don't get into a fight. We'll keep helping you out. Look, here, take this, chill out. Let's not have a fight, like spoon feeding them aid to try to keep them happy enough so that they don't get in a fight with another country that we also be trying to broker peace with. And then also military alliances. It's one of the conditions. If you're going to accept aid, we might want to build a base in your country so that if an enemy of ours that lives near you starts acting up, we can spy on them, we can act on them fast. It definitely helps us build ourselves up militarily, the more people that basically owe us for helping them out. But is it really helping them out? See, one of the problems is with a lot of these underdeveloped countries is corruption is a major roadblock for aid. Businesses from outside of the developing countries will come in and try to help out and try to hire people. And then there's some situations where those nations have confiscated, stolen those foreign businesses and all their resources they brought over and their businesses and just said, okay, they belong to us now. because there's still a lot of corruption in some of those countries that gets in the way of the aid and that help getting to the people. Also, some people claim, many people claim that our aid actually hurts more than it helps because it shackles them to our own business interests. Because remember, we make like the military demands. Well, some businesses that go in and try to help these developing countries, they also say, well, you have to give a portion of your resources to us. So they end up being in no better of a situation. And on the surface, it looks like people are trying to help them, but really they're just being taken advantage of to further exploit their resources. Kind of a new age colonization. And there's protests worldwide against these types of international trade agreements like we talked about in the past video, because a lot of people are worried that these trade agreements create situations where we use our foreign aid, we use loans and money and resources to go, here, take this, but you have to let us do that. You have to let us come in and take some resources or put your people to work for us in a way that just, it's like one step forward, two steps back.